So it's been a while. I've had quite a few things I've had to do just in my personal life, and I've also had some run-ins. So it's been busy for me lately, but this idea that I've had has been formulating in my head for a long time, and it's quite a crazy theory. It kind of ties in with my previous video. If you haven't seen that, you can go see that. But basically, I have this theory, and it's not my theory, but it's like a theory I've come to adopt. Um, the world curse. I call it the world curse. People call it other things like prison planet, but world curse to me. And this ties in with a lot of like kind of pseudoscience stuff, stuff that's not recognized by like the general, scientific community or whatever. Because in my opinion, real scientific studies are stifled because these people don't want to help humanity. It was never about that. It's always about control. So, Abrahamism, the world curse, and the rule of demons. That's what I'm going to title this video. But I believe it completely. Sometimes I believe it so much that I actually hope I'm crazy because it's too terrible to think about. But basically, I think since the fall of Rome, since the last days of antiquity, what they call the Dark Ages, like from then on, I think are the Dark Ages, and we have still remained in the Dark Ages. We had a brief period, I'm talking about European society, during the Renaissance, but then that was quickly shut down by financiers and the normgroid, the eternal normgroid. But basically, the God that everyone seems to worship, who seems to think is God, I think maybe isn't like the devil, but isn't like the God. Like there's something else. But the one who actually rules here, I think it's like it is a trinity, It's a trinity, like as above, so below. Like the trinity of the Godhead is the trinity of Abrahamism, with Judaism being technically God, equating to God, Jesus equating to, or everyone equating to Christianity, and then maybe the Holy Spirit to Islam. You can order that however you like, but basically, as above, so below, Trinity, tri. And I had actually like a vision, because me, I do have like problems with my brain, but I actually don't think they're issues anymore. I think actually I'm kind of get blessed, or I wouldn't say gifted, but I'm kind of like I'm privy to this. Yeah, so I had this vision. So I relapsed on on marijuana for like a few days. Like I don't really smoke it like ever anymore, sometimes, with friends are saying. But this time I had a bit on my own because I was so stressed, man. I hadn't been sleeping, crazy shit going on in my brain. And basically I was watching a video about military recruitment, and as the video was playing and as the guy was talking, I was like, because it was high, I felt like I was connected somehow, and I could kind of like bridge the gap between like physical perception and like what it's really meant, what it really means, and what is true intention. So like all the wars of the 20th century, they aren't even about issues on this physical plane, really. Like, yes, they are. I'm not saying they aren't. Like the wars happen for a reason, but the grand scheme, I think, was the harvesting of blood energy to make these demons powerful, this trifecta, you know. And as I was watching the video, I was kind of like connecting the dots, you know, like the high bloods, the Aryan bloods, we are the ones they want. Our blood is the blood they want. Their physical manifestations on earth wants our blood, and the ones above wants our blood. And basically, I could kind of, I don't even know, like, I'm probably just talking rubbish here, but this is what it felt like to me. So I was watching, I was stoned, like, out of my mind, you know, because I hadn't been smoking weed for ages. And basically, I wasn't even, like, watching the video anymore. I was kind of seeing through, like, almost like I was seeing through everything. And, and I could see, like, almost like people dying all around me, and like their like soul, not their soul, but like some energy, some like essence being like siphoned off. And I could see like beyond the clouds and beyond the world, and I saw these three figures, and they were basically like demons. Like they were horrid, they were dark creatures, and there was like this, they each one of them had their own covering. When I say covering, I mean like a veil of deception. And then like the third one, the high one, had the greatest veil even over the other two. So like imagine this. It's a blank, like clear your mind and make it blank. Just darkness. Now, I want you to put two domes beside each other in your mind. Just above that dome, I want you to imagine, however you want to imagine, a demon. And I want to, however you think of demon, dark spirit, archon, whatever, just think of that. And then above those two is another dome of deception. And above that is the true ruler of this world, the one who controls through his people, his physical manifestations on this physical reality. And the prison, the world now is like a prison, and it becomes more like a prison every day. I mean, I don't even really believe in free will anymore. I don't even believe I had free will. I kind of always was pushed in certain areas and didn't really have much of a choice in the sense of where I ended up now. And I can only help, excuse me, I have bad acid reflux sometimes, but I can only help myself, you know? And it's hard enough dealing with the stresses of my generation. So I'm like kind of in a weird position because I'm not, they say millennials 1997 or 1996 up to some year, and then Gen Z is like 1997 or whatever. I'm 1996, so like I don't know, am I between or what? I like I'm like a zillennial. But yeah, it's very strange. And even if I look back to all the times in my life, I really feel like I have suffered like spiritual attacks constantly, you know. And I was actually born into a completely and all-encompassed slave morality family. This a complete servant class. And my freedom and always was an issue for them. I think about it now, you know. And I'm just thinking this curse, this world curse has the evil of this curse is so all encompassing. it's so grand. So many of our people have fallen to slaves, have been sacrificed needlessly for their blood energy. The way these Zionist elites rape and eat our children, you know, and the betrayal of the elders, the Molochian trap, you know. If you know what I'm talking about, I don't even need to say, but I'm just talking because it's been bouncing around in my head for a long time. But Abrahamism is the most accursed thing to ever happen to this world. You look at the Christians, and I personally have never met a truly good Christian ever in my life. They're all hiding behind something. They're all cowards, and they're all hypocrites. And we're all hypocrites. Every human is a hypocrite, really. You do things, and because you're always growing, really. But these Christians, they have this like standardized morality, or whatever you want to call it. Obviously, I'm not talking. Okay, this is from just my experience. Okay, so there probably is. I'm not saying, but I just never met one. I just never met one. And the Islamists are kind of like, it's hard to explain, but I view them, even if you take like the whole perception of Westerners towards Islam, like I think Islam in its traditional sense is good, actually, which is strange to hear, I know. But I feel like there's more in line with the natural order from them than there is with any of the two Abrahamic religions. But I feel like Islam as well is kind of like a co-option, like they co-opted a much older religion. Because I'm kind of trying to read into that as well. But basically, the new warrior destroyer religion is modern day Islam. It's not a religion of peace. And then you have the truly evil and most disgusting, horrid, cult, death cult, Judaism. It is the most heinous of the three-headed beasts. It is the leader. You know, I heard a quote long ago. It's like, Israel is the handle, and Islam is the brush, and Christianity is the floor. It's very interesting when I heard that, because it's very much how it is. There's this harvesting cycle, you know, that these controllers pit the two against each other. Sometimes it backfires and then they are expelled, but then overall the cycle, it's like a cycle of blood harvesting. And I also think that Arabic people have some kind of like predisposition for like this kind of way of life, this like destructive way of life. I feel like all the races have their kind of like role to play in this curse. You know, like the Aryan race is the victim race. We are the sacrifices for the others. You know, the highest is sacrificed for the lowest. This is the case in modern Western civilization. And the curse is like it's all encompassing. It takes your mind, it twists your mind. I mean, like even some of the stories in the Bible, like Noah's Ark, it's like it's physically impossible to do that. It's literally physically impossible. I've researched it. I've watched videos on it. I've even like watched Christians defend it to try and like give them an opportunity to do the thing. And it's like it's all just magic. And actually I do believe in magic to an extent. But the tall tales that, you know, 1,000 years ago would have fooled the country bumpkin, we're not fooled by it anymore. A lot of us, a lot of the youth, I would say. But it's kind of it's just I'm in bewilderment at how, as we've progressed, the elders are just so dumb. You know, they fell for everything. And even the fact that Christianity, maybe in the past it was different, but I don't think so, because I've even studied the history of like the formation of Christianity. It was all Jewish people initially, and they were all anti-Roman, and it was designed to destroy Rome. It inevitably led to the destruction of Rome, because it's a pacifist, lay down and die religion. For what? Right? I'm sorry, but I'll never ever, I'll never ever speak about this in public, or I'll never tell any of my family what I'm thinking, or anything like that, because I think if you come to the kind of thought process I'm approaching here, your life is gonna be miserable because of the way you're thinking. And what is someone like me to do? What can I do, against this curse that has enslaved my people, that is eating my soul, that is as it's destroyed my mind, and it's destroyed so many, okay? And I'm not just talking about, this is not just Christianity, I'm talking about the whole curse, the whole trifecta, the above, so below, whatever, all of it. That's what it is. It's taken such a toll on me, specifically. I hear my grandparents talk about me when I was a kid, saying I used to smile all the time, I used to be happy. Man, I don't smile anymore. I got dark rings under my eyes because I don't sleep, because I have nightmares all the time. All I think about is how alone I am in the world. I'm not talking like physically intimate with intimacy. I'm talking about like just the way I think, and I'm like all alone. There's no one in my vicinity that's like that, and you can't talk about it because the Agent Smith effect is real. It's a real thing. So I just needed to have that little rant. But yeah, I'm not gonna stop fighting, because they're not gonna take my energy. No, I don't want that. I want to escape this somehow. I don't know how it is to be done, but I know that this is the path that I have to walk. I have to shed the effects of Abrahamism from me, from my soul, from everything. And it's going to take years, I think. I don't think I'll ever truly be free of it. But I acknowledge it at the very least, unlike so many. God, I hope I'm actually just crazy. I hope I'm actually I'm fucking insane, dude. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it now. Like, it's so clear to me. And even I'll tell you, just like a quick aside, what I've been doing now is I've been avoiding technology as much as possible. The nightmare slab that is my phone and my computer, I avoid them. And what I do now is I set the Eye of Sauron as my phone's wallpaper to continuously let me know that the demon king of this world is always watching, and watching me specifically. And then on my computer I have the ring wraiths. The ring wraiths, the Nazgul. But not in the physical plane. I have them in a picture of them in the astral plane as my wallpaper, to let me know that whenever I'm using this technology, I'm sacrificing my astral potential, shall we say, for like a physical or an earthly knowledge or whatever, or to waste time playing games, whatever, which I don't really do much anymore. So yeah, I just had to say that. Honestly, it's pretty crazy this, but I have to say it. So yeah, thank you.